Well, today Ken will be discussing financial aid, scholarships, aids, grants, tuition, room and board, loans, and more. Welcome, Ken. Thank you for joining us. I'll turn the mic over to you at this point, as I'm sure they want to hear from you.
Thank you, Vanessa. Yeah, as Vanessa said, I'm the Director of Financial Aid here at Masters. And really, again, our goal is to have you guys here. So we don't want finances to be the reason why you can't come. So we want to work with you the best we can to create solutions in order for you to come. I was talking with admissions and they said one really helpful thing would be to go over how do you actually read a financial aid award letter. So that's what we want to do in the beginning of our time. And then what I want to do is just turn it over for some questions that you guys have already asked, and I'll answer those. And then if you have additional questions, start putting them in the chat box. We'll see how many we can answer in the time that we have. So first off, let's look at the financial aid award. So these are people who have turned in all their financial aid documents. Now, if you're questioning what financial aid documents am I missing before I can get awarded, you can always go to masters.edu/portal. There you can find the financial aid section. There's a self-service spot. You'll log in with your username and credentials, and you'll be able to see everything that you are missing or everything that you have already turned in. That's a live document, so just check that, see if you're missing anything. If you've turned in everything, our office has processed it. We've then sent you a letter with this is how much financial aid you're getting, and this is what you would receive. So I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen. And so you should see the financial aid award letter here. So at the top, you see it's an estimated financial award letter going to Martin Luther. This is a made up person. And so what we want to do is just kind of go over the makeup of this award letter so that you feel comfortable. So most of you should have received this either as a paper form, or some of you may be getting this as email after COVID and we all had to evacuate. We're now sending them digitally. So with it, what we do is we break out that first section of kind of your summary. So that gray box is the total cost of attendance. We have the total financial aid and then the total out-of-pocket expense. Now, with a little parentheses, you can also apply for a 10-month payment plan, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. So what is the actual cost of attendance to come to Masters? So if you look here, we break it up fall and spring. The tuition for fall and spring is $13,975. That covers anywhere from 12 to 18 units. So you can be anywhere in between there, and you're going to be charged the exact same amount. If you take less than 12 units, you'll get charged a per unit rate. And if you go over 18 units, you'll get charged a smaller fee of $440 per unit of anything over 18 units. The next line is going to be room and board. What we do is we estimate, most people do a 14 meal plan. We have a 10 meal plan, we have a 14 meal plan, and we also have a 20 meal plan. Just for estimating at this point, we say 14. When you do pre-registration, you can actually choose which one you want, and those will vary based off of cost. And then the last thing is going to be fees. Now, if you look, there is a small difference in fee costs fall and spring. The reason for that is in the fall, if you're coming as a traditional student in the fall and going into the spring, there's an orientation fee for the week that you're on campus before classes actually start. That covers your food, your lodging for that time. So that's why it's a little bit more. What are the other fees included in that? We have a student services fee that allows you to go to any athletic game for free as a student. There is a number of events that are prorated in cost. We, for many years, we've sent our students to Disneyland, so we do prorated tickets. We have something called Fall Thing and the Monties. So we have a number of events that we have on campus that those are helping out with. We also have the technology fee, which is built into that. That's going to be, you have high-speed internet all across campus. You can be in the middle of the field and the internet still works, which is pretty sweet. You have printing costs built into there. You have IT service support built into there. So that's what those fees are going to be. So overall cost of attendance is going to be $40,365. Now, some of you may have gotten an award letter from us, or if you're looking online, you'll see this is your budget. And a lot of people get the budget and the cost of attendance a little bit confused. The budget is what the Department of Ed and the California Student Aid Commission requires us to have. They also require us to have transportation costs. You don't pay us for that. They also require us to put books and fees. You don't have to pay us for those. You buy your own books. Miscellaneous costs, you have to buy bedding and you have to buy toothpaste, miscellaneous things in order for you to survive as a student. You don't pay us for any of those things. It's built into your budget, but it's not part of your cost of attendance. So cost of attendance, that's what you actually pay for us. The only thing that may be a variance, if you bring a car on campus, there's a parking fee for cars. That's handled not through us, but through a third-party servicer, and then course fees. And those can range anywhere from that kind of $25 to $100 is pretty normal, but not all classes have course fees. So it all kind of varies. And so once you register, you'll be able to see those course fees for classes. So we have the total cost of attendance, and then we go down to the next section, which is your financial aid award. So this make-believe person, they had the academic distinguish award, and so it gets split evenly between the 2 semesters. So it's $5,500 for distinguished. They're also, their parents are alumni of here, and so they get $1,000 for the year, $500 splits evenly. And then we have the federal loan. So this person's applied for the FAFSA. They didn't qualify for any need-based aid, but they do still qualify for loans. And so all incoming freshmen will be offered $5,500 in total, and then based off of your need, it'll fluctuate. So this person has the maximum amount of sub-unsub. Subsidized means the government pays for your interest while you're in school. Unsubsidized, the government does not pay for your interest while you're in school. So if you're looking at it and you're like, I don't want to take any loans, I would say if you need help additionally, look at least the subsidized. There's no interest while you're in school. You can take that out, work during the year, work over summer, pay it off, and so by the time you graduate, you'll be loan free. So just something to consider. Not all loans are evil. Use them as a tool, but don't get too bogged down in them. We send a debt letter every single year to really help you say, okay, what would be your monthly cost of your loan if you did take it? So we want to help you throughout the whole process. Our average for students who graduate with loans is much lower than the national average. National average is about 28,000. We're sitting at about 20. So we want to help students. We prepare them so when they graduate, they aren't left with a ton of debt. So we want to help any way we can. So we'll help you alongside with that. And then, so you'll see the total is $12,000 in aid for this person. And if you keep scrolling through, this part will be personal to you as well. That list of things of what else might I qualify for. And those are going to change based off of who's applying. So work study. Work study is not a financial aid benefit, so it's not going to hit your account. Rather, it's going to be more like a job. So this person qualified for work study. What's going to happen is in May, maybe in June, we're going to send a big list to everyone saying, you qualify for work study. Student employment is going to reach out to them and say, here's a login to our job board, and you can see all the jobs that we have on campus, all the jobs that we have partnered off campus, and you can start applying for those over summer. And then just like a normal job, you get paid every 2 weeks, and that will, and you can say, I want it to hit directly to my student account. So it's like scholarships where it's hitting directly against it, or you can say, you know what, I want half to come to me, I want half to go to my student account, or you can say, you know what, I just want it all to go to me for my own spending money. So you have that option within work study if you do qualify for it based off that letter. TMU departmental, that's still open. So Monday it's going to close. So if you go to our website, masters.edu/scholarships, click on the TMU scholarships, and then you'll scroll down to department. Those applications are still open for a number of different departments who do have departmental scholarships. So encourage you, apply for those. They will be determined, I believe it's in 2 weeks. So they're due this Monday the 13th. They will be announced on the 24th of this month. So apply for those. TMU donor funds has already been closed and has fully been given out. Ministry matching is still open. So if your church has a scholarship program for students who are going to Christian schools, have them fill out the ministry match application, turn in a check by August 1st, and we'll take that money that you got from your Christian organization or church, and we'll match it up to $1,500. So your $1,500 could potentially be $3,000, which is pretty cool. And then the last two, we have parent or outside loans for additional help. with that, if you have any questions with loans, masters.edu/loans. We try to make it as easy as possible to navigate our website. But yeah, masters.edu/loans. We have outside sources of these are the kind of key people who we work with. You can go with any bank. We encourage you, maybe look at our list. They're creditable. But if you find something with a great interest rate, feel free to give us a call and say, hey, is this a credible bank or is this kind of shady? So we want to help you alongside that you make a wise decision and that your money is being handled well. And then for parent loans as well, there is a federal Parent Plus loan. And so it's like a federal loan that you have from your FAFSA, but it's fully in your parent's name. So that's another one that you could potentially apply for. We'd be happy to help you. Again, masters.edu/loans, get some good information on that. And last thing would just be outside scholarships. I would say in order to get the best bang for your buck for outside scholarships, I would encourage you to say, look locally. Look at what organizations you're currently partnered with, what organizations your parents work for, do you work for, what are the utilities in your neighborhood. One of the weirdest ones we got year after year because no one else applied for it. We had our city water just north of here in Santa Clarita and Castaic. A family got it every single year because they're the only ones who applied for it. So check local things, check your local city government. Those will be better because it's a smaller population that you're applying against. But then also look big scale. Sallie Mae and College Data both have massive scholarship databases. Encourage you, look through those, apply through those, but try to filter through what best suits you, and you can kind of go from there. So that's going to be kind of the basics of our financial aid award. And so I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing my screen and turn it over to a few questions that you guys have posted previously. And then what we'll do after that is I'll look through the chat and see if there's anything else we can answer. So first one we have is, I'm an international student, and are there any internship opportunities? It looks like the student says, I don't know if I can work in the US. So wanted to let you know one thing is that international students are still able to work in on campus. And so you have to get a special visa for it. So we have someone in our campus, Josh English. He will be able to work directly with you. He'll go down to the city of Los Angeles. He'll get you a work visa with you and then come back. You'll be able to work on campus. So it does restrict you. You can't work anywhere, but you can work on campus and you'll be able to make an hourly wage here. And then we also have international students who set up agreements and can actually work over summer. For some students, we do offer some summer housing, probably not this summer, but in years future. But they'll be able to stay on campus for a less cost and just work on campus. So that is still an option for international students. Next question, what is the cost of medical and will TRICARE qualify to cover it? So when you guys are doing pre-registration, it's gonna ask you what type of medical insurance you have. So specifically the person who asked it, I'm gonna answer theirs, but in order for us to kind of go smoothly, the best thing to do is while you're in pre-registration, put in all your information for insurance. You'll be able to see if you qualify, if your insurance qualifies for our insurance, so you don't have to pay the rate. The rate is about $2,500. It's split differently from fall and spring. So fall covers 5 months of medical insurance and spring covers 7. So you actually have a full year. It's not just when you're on campus, it's an entire year of medical insurance that's being covered. Most people use their own or parents' medical insurance to have a savings. But again, if you don't have it, it is required to be on campus. And so we have that ability. TRICARE specifically, we do accept it. Samaritan is another one that on pre-registration may not look like you qualify, but we still do accept it. So TRICARE and Samaritan, we will accept those too. So those are good. If you're military, I want to let you know that we have a military hospital probably about 15 minutes away from us. So if you qualify for military insurance, talk to me. I'm also the VA certifying official. I can walk you through the process of how to get military health insurance in order to save you that extra money that you would have to pay if you don't have it. So please talk to me. The military one does cover it, and we have a hospital just about 15 minutes away from us that'll fully cover you. Next one, what is the difference between a one-time payment plan and a monthly payment plan? So similarly to how it sounds, the one-time payment plan, we break up our billing into two segments, fall and spring. So it's a semester system. And so the one-time payment, you pay what the semester cost is at one point. We send out the bills June 20th, and then they're due July 10th. And so for that semester, you just pay it all at once. So some students say, you know what, I just want to get a loan, cover the difference, and I'm going to pay it all in one lump sum. Other people say, you know what, based off of my financial aid package and what our family has ability to pay because we've saved, we can pay it all in one lump sum. Or some students say, you know what, that's just a little bit too great. We can make it work if we break it up into a payment plan. And so what it is, it's going to be a five-month payment plan per semester. So how it works for a payment plan would be July would be your first one for fall, then August, September, October, November. So those 5 months would cover your fall payments. And then for spring, it would be December, January, February, March, April. And then so you wouldn't make any payments in May or June. And so that would be the difference. And so the cost of it would be $85 per semester. So when you break that up, it just gets put into your bill as a whole. You don't pay that at that $85 at once. $85 just gets put into your whole bill. And so it gets broken up into 5 equal payments. And then when do department scholarship applications open? So they're currently open right now, and they will close on Monday the 13th. So encourage you, you have this weekend in the next couple days, apply for those, look through. If you don't see your department, it probably means there's not scholarships for that specific one. Most departments have something, so encourage you, apply for it. And then we'll take all those applications, we'll send them over to the department heads, and they'll decide the students who get those scholarships. And then the last one that I have is, what is the minimum ACT for freshmen that can be awarded the Distinguished Scholarship? So how we do academic scholarships is on a sliding scale. So what we do is we look at 60% of your GPA is weighted, and then 40% is weighted on SAT, ACT scale. For SAT, the minimum is 1,000. And for ACT, the minimum is 19. So that would be the minimum, but you would also have to get a 4.0 in order to get the distinguished. And so it's on a sliding scale. The best thing to do, if you're curious about what does my GPA look like or what would be my academic scholarship based off of my GPA and SAT score, masters.edu/TCC, total cost calculator. So TCC. There you'll be able to plug in your personal stuff and then hit go, and it'll give you a financial aid award based off of your own personal information. So if you're curious, that's going to be the best place to look. But yeah, just the minimums, 1,000 on the SAT, 19 on the ACT. And then the big question is, what if I had scheduled to take an SAT or an ACT test? I haven't taken it yet, and because of COVID, I can't take it anymore. Because I don't have that test score, does that mean I no longer qualify for an academic? We're going to work with you guys. Just reach out to your admissions counselor, let them know the situation. We will work with you, and we'll be able, based off your GPA, we have a different metric, but we'll be able to let you see what your academic award is, so you'll still be able to qualify for that. So those are my questions. Vanessa, do we have anything else on?
We do. Yes, thanks, Ken. I think we have about 6 here, so I'll just go ahead and read them off to you. So our first one is, can we apply for more than one departmental scholarship? And I think they're referring to the possibility of double majoring or even minoring as well.
Yeah, so that's a good question. What I would say is pick your primary one. So can you apply for both? Yes. But what the department heads are going to look at is they will see, are you majoring or are you minoring? There aren't enough funds to go around to offer funds for minors, so it'll be true majors. If you're double majoring, pick which one you are primarily going after. If it's equal, yeah, go ahead and apply for both. But the department heads will be able to see those differences.
Okay, great. Our next question is, what about parents that run their own business? Are there any specific scholarships that would apply to their situation?
Yeah, so what I would do is I would look at Sallie Mae and college data. They have a number of scholarships that are much more broad. We specifically at TMU don't have a scholarship that's for people with their own business. If you're referring to because they have their own business and their business is hurting right now because of COVID, that's a little bit different. If that is the scenario, what I would say is if you go to masters.edu / scholarships, underneath the the need scholarships, there's a loss of job because of COVID. And so you can click on that. And so if your family income is dramatically hit because of COVID, check that link out. There's a number of things that we need to look through, or just to reach out to our office, explain your situation. We'd love to be able to help you. But specifically, if you own your own business, we don't have a scholarship specifically set up for that. If it's because of COVID, I would say check out our need-based grants.
Okay, great. Okay, so the work-study program is not financial aid based, but we do have to qualify for it. So what are the qualifications?
Yep, so it is still a need-based grant. So what the government does is it says, okay, how much does it cost to go to master's? And so we have the cost of attendance. And then what the government does is when you fill out a FAFSA, it gives you something called an expected family contribution. Then we get that number. So we have the cost minus the expected family contribution is going to be equal to your unmet need. So if your unmet need is greater than 6,000, then you would qualify for work study. And then every time we add scholarships, your unmet need shrinks. So if your unmet need was exactly 6,000, and then we gave you a financial aid academic award of 5,500, you now no longer qualify for work study. So what we do is we go through and we say, okay, what's their unmet need? Work study is a federal program, and so we have to follow their guidelines. This isn't because master's is a stickler. Why can't it just be a little bit more? So we're just going off of federal guidelines on that, and we send anyone who qualifies a notification of that. Now the question is, okay, what if I don't qualify? Can I still work on campus? The answer is yes. So it may not be a work study funded, so we get money from the federal government to pay students. So it may not be that program, but can you still work on campus? Yes. So what I would encourage you to do there is if you don't qualify, if you don't get that email from us in May, June saying, hey, you qualify for this, I would reach out to student employment. I believe it's student employment at masters.edu. So reach out to them and say, hey, I'm an incoming student. I'm really interested in working. What are the opportunities? And Elise will be able to help you out with different opportunities on campus. And then we also have a career service partner on campus, Bill Boldy. He has been in the Santa Clarita Valley for many years, and he knows many of the businesses around here. He'll be able to give you some good insight of, hey, what are you pursuing? What type of degree, and can we connect you with something here locally?
Okay, great. Thanks, Ken. Our next question is, what is the date that they can expect to know their final payment for the year? This person in particular isn't waiting to hear about insurance or housing. So you have a date for us?
For when they're going to get their bill?
Mm-hmm.
Yep, so the bills for fall are going to be printed on June 20th, and they'll be due July 10th.
Okay, great. And you covered this a little bit, but maybe you could just summarize again. What words of advice do you have for finding and applying for outside scholarships?
Yeah, so what I would encourage you to do is check two sources. We don't get paid by them, but they've been the most profitable for our students. Check out two sources, Sallie Mae scholarship database and college data scholarship database. So check those two out. They have a ton of scholarships that you can look for. And then the other thing that you would want to do is look locally. So find out where your parents work. Do they have a scholarship? What type of utility bills do your parents pay? Do they have a scholarship? Does your YMCA that you attend have a scholarship? So think of things that you are currently plugged into and find out, do they have scholarships? The more connected you can be, the more likely you are to get it.
Okay, great. And Ken, can you just talk a bit about the new scholarship, the COVID scholarship for loss
Mhm.
of work?
Mhm. Yeah, so the Department of Ed has reached out to us and has let us know that, yeah, in this season, there's going to be a number of students whose parents' income is going to look dramatically different today than it did 2 years ago when they did the FAFSA. FAFSA looks at 2 years back of data, so prior year. So 2018 data. 2018 may not look like 2020. And so if that is the case for you, where it's dramatically different, your parent lost a job in this season, we want to come alongside you. We want to care for you and we want to help you. It is a government program, so there's a lot of paperwork that we need to collect. But at the same time, if we can get you additional funds, we want to try to do that. So if you go to masters.edu/scholarships, you'll be on the TMU scholarships section, scroll down to the needs section, open that up, and you'll see an application for. So if you go ahead, apply through that, we'll be able to review your application, submit the paperwork to the Department of Ed and see if you qualify. If you don't qualify, we still want to work with you. So please check that out. Let us know your situation. We want to do our best to care for you in this time.
Okay, great, thanks. A couple more specific questions. It says, my EFC is unrealistic for my family to pay for. What do you recommend that I do?
Yeah, it's hard because the Department of Ed tries to do their best to create everything equal. And so what they do is they have an algorithm, you plug in your information and it spits out an EFC. And a lot of times it feels way bigger than what it is in reality. So what I would encourage you to do is, one, to reach out to us, explain your situation, see if we can do anything. We can't guarantee funds, but the best thing is at least explain your situation. We want to see if we can help in any way. So that's going to be one. And then I would just encourage you, start looking for outside scholarships, start talking to your church about ministry matching. Those are a number of ways to start getting that plugged in. And then if you are able to work. I know COVID's going to throw a lot of things off for summer jobs, but if you are able to start doing that now, to start saving up, and then potentially what it may look like is, yeah, you may have to take a loan in this season, and then once you get on campus, then you can start working and start paying that off quickly, so to kind of help you get ahead.
Okay. So this next question, it sounds like it's coming from a student whose parents just retired, but they were on their health insurance. So they are wondering if they can, once they get off their parents' health insurance, if there is any sort of financial aid that will help their situation, if they can get on different health insurance.
Got it. Yeah, so we don't have financial aid specifically for health insurance, but we do offer, TMU has their own, or we use a third party for our insurance. And so every student who's on campus has to have insurance. So when you do pre-registration, if you don't have insurance at that time, just go ahead and say, I want to select the TMU health insurance, and they'll get you enrolled in that in order for you to have medical insurance while you're here on campus. And again, it lasts the entire year, even when over summer when you're not here, medical insurance is still running. So there is that option, and be able to help you out there.
Okay, great. Well, I think that wraps it up for the questions I see in our Q&A box. Thank you so much, Ken, for taking time to answer all of those.
No problem.
You have any final words of advice?
Yeah, I would just say in this season, I just encourage you, rest in the hope of Jesus, right? We have that eternal hope. This season's going to pass, but he is forever. So rest in that hope. We are planning for a normal semester to come in the fall. We want you guys here. We're excited to have you. So encourage you, reach out to your churches, see if they can do the ministry match grant, or if you're connected to a Christian organization, that would be another one to look into. We can match Christian organizations as well. So those ones are going to be great. And then if you haven't applied for departmental, apply before this weekend and you'll be good to go. So looking forward to seeing you guys in the fall, and we'll talk soon.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. That wraps up our time. Thank you to Kenny for spending that time with us and answering all of the questions. We do want to continue to hear from you. So if you have more questions, please do reach out to our financial aid or our admissions department. We'd love to hear, even if it's questions about our academics, departments, or just general life at TMU, please do either check out our website or give us a call. Well, we thank you for joining us, and we hope you have a wonderful Easter weekend.